Are you afraid when you hit out of a greenside bunker? I'm going to show you how you can do it in a couple easy steps. Here we go. Okay. So I just raked this area here. Now I'm going to give myself some random lies. Okay, boom. All right. Now I'm using a lob wedge here. What's most common is a 56 degree. Okay. Number one, when you're in a bunker, you don't want to be scared of the ball, right? Don't be scared of taking sand out. That's what it's for. Now, to practice in the bunker, what I really like to do is draw a line, right? I draw a line, and all I focus on is hitting the line and then in front, right? So boom, that's one, okay? Now you can do this as many times as necessary till you get a good feeling, right? All three of those were just after the line here, right? Great option when you want to try and hit the ball. So now when you're hitting the ball, right, couple checkpoints you're gonna want to look at is when you're starting out, especially when you're practicing, right? You don't want to do this when you're on the course, but put a line behind your ball about a ball to a ball and a half, or 3 to 4 fingers behind the ball. And this will help you now envision, okay, now I gotta hit that line and go all the way through. One of the most common mistakes I see with people in the bunker is they go like this, and then they stop. They stop their swing midway, right? That ball looks like it carried, we're blind, but it didn't. It's actually in the rough, okay? What I want you to do instead is do a free-flowing full swing, okay? Now, when you do a free-flowing full swing, I'm gonna put another line back here. You want a free-flowing swing right into this holster here, so you can just drop it in the holster. What that will help with is your acceleration through the ball, okay? So this is what a good bunker shot would look like, and then we're gonna talk about what helps you hit this good bunker shot, right? So back and through, rolled out to about 3 feet. Prop you up a little bit. Maybe you could. You're gonna wanna make sure you're not stopping here, right? You wanna go through the sand and drop it in the holster, right? Or you can even go through the sand all the way to your full swing. But you wanna be making sure you're hitting sand first when out of the greenside bunker. Now there's a couple shots we can play here. For beginners, I would recommend 2. A chunk and run and your high soft kind of splash shot, okay? That high soft shot is extremely important in this situation, as if I try a chunk and run, where I kind of close the face a little more, and I'm swinging now 4 fingers behind the golf ball, what will happen is it'll come up short into this stuff, right? Okay? That ended up a little short. So you don't want to be playing a chunk and run here because that'll come out a lot lower. What you're going to want to play here instead is that splash shot. So the chunk and run, I'd recommend a little bit more of a closed face, and you're still hitting sand behind, and you're just going to go through. What that will cause is the ball to hit the green and then want to run out, right? That's why you call it a chunk and run, because you're hitting behind the golf ball first, and then it will run out on the green. But your splash shot is a little different. Instead of hitting 4 fingers behind the ball, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna be hitting, if I get in a good spot, maybe 2 fingers behind the golf ball, right? To get a lot more spin on the golf ball, to get it higher with that open face. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I also see with people's bunker shots is they come steep, right? Like this, right? That shot might have worked out. It is a little long. The shot might have worked out, but it's not going to be very repeatable. What I'm going to want you to do instead is focus on getting wide, right? We're swinging around our body so we can come through and around our body, right? What we're going to want to focus on is getting wide here and then coming through to this holster position, making a good smooth swing all the way through and all the way around our body, right? So again, I'm just going to draw a line 2 fingers behind, right? Open up that club face, go around my body, and swing through to this holstered position, right? We're gonna wanna be confident here. If we're not confident, what's gonna happen is we're gonna decelerate, and that's gonna happen to you. If that's ever happened to you, you know that feeling. It's because you're decelerating in the bunker, right? You're definitely not gonna wanna decelerate when you're in the bunker. You wanna accelerate, the exact opposite. You wanna go through the ball with some speed, because you're hitting behind the ball already. So again, another line behind the ball. Open up that club face. Make sure your stance is wide, right? We don't want a narrow stance in the bunker. We're gonna want a wide stance to really get that width and that rotation here, okay? Simple. Boom, boom, okay? Carried, but it ended up working out quite well. We're about 5 feet. Good chance to save my par if this is one of those scenarios when we're on the course. Now, for that chunk and run, it's the same steps. The only difference is now you're hitting further behind the golf ball, right? Still that wide stance, still that wide takeaway. Now you're just gonna close the club face through. It ended up just a tad bit long, but it also ran out when it was on the green, okay? So, now let's talk about a plugged lie. Hope you can see this ball. I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can. Okay, let's talk about a plugged lie now. Right, so a plugged lie would look like this, okay? You're in the sand, it's plugged completely, right? What you're gonna wanna do now is close the club face and really hit through. It's the only way you're gonna be able to get out of this situation. This ball is pretty plugged if I've ever seen one. Boom and boom is the only way you're gonna get out of that, right? That came out a little longer, but I'm playing that chunk and run because I gotta take a really deep divot out, right? I can try that again over here and plug it. Okay, I don't know how much of the ball you can see, but basically none of it. Okay, the whole ball is basically underneath the ground. Right, we're gonna now put this on the back of our stance, swing down on it, again behind the ball, catch sand first, and really just swing hard. Right, and that ball will come out quite nicely actually, but this divot is gonna be a lot deeper because we're taking a lot more sand out of it. If you guys like this type of content, click the subscribe link down below here. And my new recent upload is going to be right here. I'll see you guys in the next one.